Hello, my name is Dr. McCarthy, and today we're going to go over in-text citations, especially how to do it with the MLA form of citation. Now, you should have a copy of this particular citation help handout. This handout is linked to and under every unit, so you can download it. If you have not downloaded this help sheet, and if you have not taken the time to read it, please do. This is a very good resource for you. I'm going to focus on these two citations, and I'm going to look at a citation I got from an individual student and make the corrections there so that you can see what is happening. When you do MLA in-text citations, you need to mention who the author or the authors are of the citation, and you also have to tell me where it comes in the page number. This is for both direct quotes as well as paraphrasing. Now, under APA form, you kind of have an option of giving me a page number under paraphrasing, but it's always a good idea anyways just to give the page number. The whole point of citations, besides giving credit where credit is due, is to allow your reader to have the tools that he or she needs to go back to where you got the citation and read up on it. If you don't give them the page number, then they're going to have a hard time finding it. All right, so here is an incorrect way of citing a document right here, this one right here. And the reason this is incorrect is, first of all, this period right here. Now, when you take a direct quote out of a book, there's going to be punctuation that comes with it. And I know you want to keep that punctuation, but the problem here is when you put your period here and then you follow that period with a citation, basically you're not citing the sentence. The citation needs to be part of the sentence you are about ready to cite. I'm hoping this makes sense. So this example here, you have a quote, but technically this quote has not been cited because it is a sentence all into its own and there is no citation. And this citation here is technically not citing a particular sentence because it exists on a sentence all on its own. Okay, so this would be the correct way to do it. Here you have the full quote. I've taken out the ending punctuation at the end of 2009, and I have moved that ending punctuation to the end of the citation itself. This is one full sentence. Now, when we are doing citations and we're doing quotes, you still have to follow the rules of punctuation, the rules of writing, okay? Which is why we take the period away from 2009 and we put it at the end of the citation. This is another example of an incorrect citation, and I see this all the time because people are confused about where they should put the period. They often don't put any punctuation right here after their citation. So let's take a look at a student's work real quick. And I'm just going to go ahead and lower this. Let's focus on this. There we go. Move this real quick. This is just a full quote, okay? And it's using the author from my CMST 101 class. Now, a few things is happening here, but let's start with the period. We have the period here. So this sentence is standing on its own. It's technically not being cited because the citation is existing outside of the sentence itself. So in order to fix this, the first thing we need to do is we need to get rid of that period. Now, we do have a period at the end of the citation here, so that's going to be correct. And then we have something else here. What we have is the full name of the author, and under MLA rules, you don't need that, and you should not include it. So I'm just going to get rid of that and just have Rothwell, 66. Now Rothwell, this particular book, I happen to know has two different columns on each page, column A and column B. So technically, this needs to be, we need to know what column this comes in if this citation is going to be correct. I believe it's column A from this particular quote. So I'm going to put 66A. That tells your reader that it's on page 66 and you can find the quote under column A. The last thing we have here is we have a citation here, quote marks here, right? Before individualist culture and after stressed. When we have quotes inside of quotes like this, the double quotes then need to be changed to single quotes. And now we have a correct citation. Now I'm going to bring back the citation handout one more time, and I want to talk about this first little bit here, full versus partial sentences. One thing I'm seeing a great deal of in the discussion area is a tendency to just give me a part of a sentence rather than the entire sentence. And this is dangerous for a couple reasons. One, it's a very easy way to suggest something the author may not be arguing. When we use a quote, we're really just saying, hey, listen, the author agrees with me. We don't want to use just a portion of the author's words in exchange of our words. And let me show you what I mean by that. Let's say I had this sentence. Okay, so I'm just making this up. Communication is the art of connecting to individuals, cultures, communities, and others. McCarthy, page 23. Now, technically, this citation form is correct. The problem we have here is the citation and the way the quote and the way I'm using it. I'm allowing this quote to speak for me. These are words taken from somebody else. And I am using their words to finish my sentence. And that's when we allow quotes to speak for us, rather than having quotes support our opinions. You always want to use a quote in such a way that it supports what you have to say. So this type of use here is not the best type of way to use a quote. Now, sometimes we want to have somebody define something because they do a better job than us. And that is fine. You can do a comparative kind of definition using quotes, but basically, I just want to encourage you not to let quotes speak for you, to use them in such a way that they are backing up your opinion or they're bringing in new evidence, but they aren't speaking for you. So this means you don't want to link a bunch of quotes together. You don't want to use just partial sentences in order to complete what your thoughts are. You want to have your thoughts there 100% and then use a quote to back you up. Sometimes it's easier in this particular case to use a paraphrase, and that might be a good idea here, where we paraphrase the information and then we cite it. So we could say something like, it is my understanding connections between people and societies because of good communication techniques. Okay, so in this case, I have a paraphrase. And basically, I have taken the information that was from here, but instead of just using those words to speak for me, I have now put all of this in my own words but I also have to cite that information still because it's not an original idea. It is not something that just came to me and nobody else thought of it first. And it's not necessarily absolute common language either, or knowledge either, which is why we need to cite it. So this is an example of a good paraphrase. So when you are working on citing your materials in the class and you're working on quotes, a couple things keep in mind. Don't let quotes speak for you. Try to avoid using partial sentences. In this class, work on using a full sentence in your quote in order to better learn how to allow the quote to support what you have to say. And also this makes sure, by doing this, we also make sure that we are properly conveying the author's original thought rather than what we think the author said, or manipulating the author's words. I hope this makes sense. All right, that's all I have for the moment. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I will be happy to help you. Aloha.